Hello, hello everybody, and today I'm back with the the season predictions and previews, and I'm gonna be doing the Metro Division predictions today. This this might be the hardest division to predict. Every team is every team is practically improved, except for a few teams that did lose a couple of pieces pieces. I'm gonna start with the Pittsburgh Penguins, which is probably the most unpopular team in that division. Uh, so they have pieces, obviously, that they have, and not a bad team, but it's not a great team. But I think I think honestly, as long as they got Crosby and Malkin in their lineup, they can make the playoffs. I predict them to be a wild card team and just make the playoffs because there's not that many teams that look like they could get in. So I think they'll squeak in. Now now I think it's gonna be you know not too many teams that are gonna get in the like Metro. The Metro is gonna be very competitive, but there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams that are not gonna make the playoffs, and I guess I think Pittsburgh, they'll just get in. They'll get like out of the top 16 and top 8, and think they'll either I think they'll either be third or fourth. I think I'll pick them to be third in the Metro because Matt. Well, if Matt Murray has like if Matt Murray has a really good season, they could definitely push for second in the Metro and try to win a division because they are not a bad team. But my concern is can Murray stay consistent as a can can Murray stay consistent as a starter, and can their defensive core prove everybody wrong that they actually have a lot of good defensemen? It's just on paper it doesn't look like that. Can they prove everybody wrong? Can can Letang still be Letang? Can he at least score 40 points and become? Is he still a top 20 defenseman? I think Letang is a top 20 defenseman in this league, but barely because he's out of his prime. He's still I've always been on the fence of if I actually like Letang's defensive game when he get, but I mean he's shown he's shown in the past that he can definitely be a great two-way defenseman. The best example, in my opinion, was the 2016 playoffs, where he proved proved to me that he is one of the best defensemen in the game when he's at his best, which he was that playoffs. 2017, Noah Tang, they won the cup. That was insane. Insane. Was Fleury amazing? Yes, amazing. But Matt Murray was pretty good too. They won the cup with two different goalies, which again was just kind of insane, honestly, because winning a cup with two different goalies, that will probably never happen again because you usually it's kind of hard to win. Like, just having one goalie playing great is good. Having two goalies is pretty hard in the playoffs. You know, Pittsburgh has Pittsburgh really they lost They lost Phil Kessel, but they got Galchenyuk back, which, if he's playing for us, gets to play with Malkin, and if he's playing with Malkin Willie Gel, I think he should. In my opinion, if he does not reach 40, if he can't reach 40 points with Malkin, there's something wrong. He has to reach at least 40 points and maybe 15 goals. 15 goals to get, that's probably what he has to do in Pittsburgh, or else I don't know what he's doing, because, I really don't know if he can't reach that mark, and it's not going to be good for Galchenyuk or the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we'll move on to the New York Islanders next. I'll move on to the team that swept the Pittsburgh team that swept. This might be a surprise to some people. Never count out a team that's coached by Barry Trotz. Yes, I know, but I don't feel that they got any better. On paper, so I don't see them actually getting into the playoffs. Since yes, they can play. They can have great defense. Their defense might improve. Their defense might improve. But that's really it, in my opinion. Since they have Grace. If Grace doesn't play like he did last year, they're probably really gonna sink in the standings and not even be close to a playoff spot by March, because you had Grace being great. Like, technically he was the backup, even though he had fantastic save percentage too. Not just Leonard, but Leonard was clearly the better goalie, and it was a great story. But he signed in Chicago. So where are the Islanders now? If Matthew Barzal can't at least score 80 points, I don't think they're making the playoffs. If they don't get a lot of scoring, they need more scoring. They need more scoring clearly, and you get it. They re-signed Andreas Lee, so that was good, right? What much did they do? Oh God, what the heck did I do? They didn't do much though. They really didn't do much to improve the team. Which is why I have the Islanders missing the 2020 NHL playoffs. And now I'm going to move to the New York Rangers. And everybody's going to say, everybody is going to freak out at me saying this team really should be somewhere else. And I will surprise everybody by saying they will finish last in the Metro and still be a decent team. I'll get hated. I know everybody's saying. But if Lundqvist comes back and all these guys like Adam Fox, they got Trouba, and they got that guy that could score 60 points in Capo Caco. And then they got Panarin. How could they miss the playoffs? How could they not be good? Hell, they could win the Metro. What I say is slow your ass down, because they're not winning the Metro, or they could be. Now I could see them surprising me and maybe making a wild card spot, but that's the highest they're gonna get. That is the highest they're going to get. They got guys though. They've got guys. I know. They've got guys like Panarin. We know. And again, as I said in an earlier video, they overpaid for Panarin, but it's even if he scored 90, I think it's a bit overpaid, but whatever. He scored 87 for behind Columbus, so kind of the same ceiling he'll have, quite honestly. But so you got Panarin, 27-year-old winger in Panarin. Then you got center. Then you got a potential. Kind of had a breakout. Zibanejad kind of had a breakout season in 2018-19 at the Rangers, and they still sucked. He'll be better, especially if he's playing with Panarin. He's 26 in his prime, centering a winger that's prime, like and Capo Caco probably start on the second line. Hell, he might even push to the first line maybe. Like Capo, I don't know where he's gonna play, but he's gonna be a sick player. He's gonna be a fun player to watch. He's potentially the next great winger, maybe a next Patrick Kane. He's looking like he's insane. All right, in the prospect tournament, Capo Caco, I'm definitely sold on him. I'm sold on Hughes and Capo Caco. Honestly, if one of them became busts, I would just be shocked. But Capo Caco looks like the real deal. 6 points. I think yes, 60 points would be ideal for him. If he only hits 50, remember it's his first season, 18 years old. If you hit 50 in your rookie as a rookie, that's pretty damn good. 50 points is not bad for a rookie. It's just not amazing, but it's damn good. Because again, you got a lot of guys, but Zibanejad could hit 80. If Zibanejad hit 90, that would be fantastic. Now, does he have to? No. Maybe that's not ceiling. Maybe he would. Maybe he hits 90 points. I don't see him hitting 90, but 80. But again, the 80s. But again, the 80s for him is where it's probably at. He can be in the 80s in points because Zibanejad is one of the most underrated centers in the league. Zibanejad, you could argue, is maybe not a superstar yet, but he could be a super by the end of 2020. Could Zibanejad be a superstar? Yes, for sure he could be a superstar by the end of 2020, but I don't know if he will. Okay, I got Nemeth, and I've been a fan of Nemeth. He's not a great player, but he's pretty good. And Elias Anderson. Is Elias Anderson going to show that he is the player he was? And Brandon Lemieux. I'm a fan also of Brandon Lemieux. Brandon Lemieux is pretty good. They got a couple guys like Rusnevich and all these guys. Chris Kreider apparently could be traded, but if they want to, if they think they're in the playoffs, trading Kreider is the wrong decision. But if they're still rebuilding, I think Kreider is the right decision. But I don't know if they want to rebuild, if they want to make the playoffs. But I see them finishing last. But the defensive core is decent. It's a decent defensive core. Honestly, maybe better than their top 6, to be honest, or overall offensive depth. Because they got Trouba, which is probably overpaid, but a decent defenseman, 25 years old. He's still young, but not too young. Mark Stahl is an old defenseman. Mark Stahl is an obvious overpaid player because he's not in his prime anymore. Brady Shea is a decent defenseman. I would say he's overpaid as well. $5 million, that's just too much for a defenseman. That's not like a Trouba. So, Brandon Smith. Decent defenseman, but again, I even think he's overpaid, but he's a good defenseman. But Adam Fox, we haven't seen him in the NHL yet, so I don't know how he's going to be, but I think he's a great prospect for the Canes that wants to go to New York. Adam Fox is a New York Ranger. If he becomes great, he could, but that's one thing of the Rangers. They're going to be last in the division because I don't think they're good enough to do tons of damage, but they're a decent team. They're decent. They're just not amazing. I'm going to go to the Devils. Devils will not make playoffs in my opinion, but definitely will be better than they will be better than the Rangers. They got Taylor Hall still in his prime at 27. Then they got Travis Zajac. Zajak's an older player, overpaid, but pretty good. Wayne Simmons. They added Wayne Simmons, which is a damn good player, $5 million a year for 1 year. It's a 1-year deal for him. Then they got Kyle Palmieri, which is underrated player still. Good contract, $4.6 million a year for 20 goals all the time. He's always consistently scoring 20 goals every year for the points. He's a consistent player that makes good money. Should probably be $5.5 to $6 million player. But again, he's not. Gusev. The Nikita Gusev. You don't know if the Nikita Gusev contract will be bad or a steal. I hope it's a steal for them. It also could be bad. It also could just be right. It could be right. It could be a bit underpaid or overpaid. Underpaid. It could be a bit overpaid. You don't know. I don't know. Miles was good. Miles Zakin might be about He was just signed though. Havlicek never performs with the Devils. It's unfortunate he never performs, but I don't know, Nico. I think this might be the year he sure breaks out as a player. Maybe 6 points. I think he could hit 60 to 7. I really think Hischier is not a bust. Hischier is only 20 years old. He's only played 2 seasons. Decent. He's been decent in those years. And he's not gonna. I don't think his ceiling's number 1 center. I think it's number 2. So I think maybe a Nazem Kadri point. It's a year guy. I think he still has, he's really good potential. I think his second line center potential is really good, and he could break out 70 points. I think it's the year he breaks out 70 points. I think now maybe he becomes a bit of a Pettersson, but not obviously as good as Pettersson, but something. He becomes something with the Devils. Then you got the obvious Jack. You got Jack Hughes, which eventually breaks 40 to 50 points this year, which is honestly very good for a rookie. You got their best defenseman, which is obviously PK Subban. Then you got Andy Green, which is a good defenseman, 36 years old, ridiculously overpaid. Only should make $2 to $3 million. $5 million. Arguably their best overall defenseman is Sammy Vatanen, which makes $4.8 million a year. It's a good, and quite honestly, it's a good contract for Sammy Vatanen because he has damn good ceiling still. 28 years old in his primer now. Damon Severson, which is a solid defenseman. That's 20. He's only 25, and you get Will and two years ago, Will Butcher, the 24-year-old defenseman, Will Butcher, had a ridiculous assist, or I think it was assist streak, or he had so many assists that year, and now he's just a decent defenseman, not ridiculous, but pretty decent. They got Connor Carrick as well, and Mirko Mueller, and decent depth, 6th, 7th defenseman there. My main concern and the reason I put the Devils missing playoffs, I guess similar to the Rangers, but the Devils have a much better roster than the Rangers, in my opinion. They still missed playoffs because Schneider has shown he can't play. And if Blackwood is not ready to be a starter, if Blackwood doesn't play, great. But if he plays good, they have a chance to make playoffs. If he plays great, they might make playoffs because goaltending, in my opinion, goaltending is probably the only reason they wouldn't make the playoffs, because they have a damn solid top 6, decent, and even decent bottom 6 forwards with pretty good depth on defense. The main issue, yes, could be Florida's problem from 2018-19 is do they have the goaltending? In my opinion, they do not have the goaltending unless Blackwood becomes a some goaltender. So now I'm gonna do because he has to become that solid goaltender. So he has to predict the sixth in the Metro, 6th. I gotta do Columbus. I'm gonna do Columbus because I'm gonna do them. So Columbus. Columbus has a lot of good parts. Columbus isn't as bad as people say, but they're not great. Is Columbus great? No. Are they good? Around that area. And yet, where are they? Second, they finish a few points, in my opinion, above the Rangers. A few points. I think they're better than the Rangers, quite honestly. They're actually a pretty decent team. And people overrate the Rangers, and yet they underrate Columbus. My predict. And I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I think Columbus is actually a better overall roster than New York. But yeah, if their goaltending sucks ass, then they might actually be dead last in the division, which is the only reason I have them. It's the only reason I have them here is because if they kept Bobrovsky, I have them in the playoffs, and I'm not joking. This team has Atkinson, which is a 30-year-old winger, which is going 30, maybe 40, maybe is an amazing city. I think he just recently scored 40 goals. You can score 30. You can definitely score 30. And maybe score 40, 30. You can score 40, 30, 30, 30, 30. You can score 40, though. You get Dubinsky, 33. Overpaid. Ridiculously over. Brandon Dubinsky is ridiculous. It's quite obviously that Brandon Dubinsky's overpaid. $5.8 million, 33 years old, can't score that much, but can do was a physical guy that got in the half season. They got signed Gustav Nyquist, and that's a good signing. It adds to the top six. That wasn't great, but is now potentially a decent top six on the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that's a good signing. The captain, which is I guess a decent contract, Nick Foligno, 31 years old. Can he score them 50 points? Well, if he can't score them 50 points, then I don't see the point of him still being there. I don't know. They could be on the way of rebuilding. If they really suck, they might be on the way to retool. I don't say Foligno or Dubinsky would be on their way out, Columbus. But right now they're not a rebuilder. Essentially a competitor. Alexander Wennberg is a 24-year-old. He makes $4.9 million a year. That's a decent deal. Decent player. Which has always had potential. He's always had potential to be better, and he can be better. He can become a $5 million player. I think he is a good player. Riley Nash, years ago when they added him, he was a very good center pickup. 3 years old, $2.7 million a year. Decent player. Third line center. He can play on third line. He can depth. There's great depth because he's great depth. Because a few years ago, he was great for Boston. He's great for Columbus. He's great for Columbus, obviously. He's great for Columbus, obviously. He's been great for Columbus, and And then for Borkstrand, he's a player. Not a great player, but he's a player. I am, I'll tell you. Sure. Well, I'm a huge fan of Josh Anderson, which still can get better, and obviously I think it's a bargain deal. I think his contract's kind of a bargain. He only makes $1.8 million deal a year. He could make $3 million. He could be a $3 million player if he wanted to. So, the player I think that needs to step up the most is obvious. Peter Gluck, the ball. He's only 21. He's gonna be RFA next year. So that's gonna make 7. I think the goal is for him 70 points. He can't score 70 points. I think it's an achievement for him. Now, not many players to limit his ice time. Has to be a number one center. He's a number one center. A lot of guys here. People really think, oh, well, Columbus, they don't have anything. Columbus has a decent offense, but their defense is pretty fantastic. Seth Jones maybe wins the Norris. Sakarinski just signed to a ridiculously bargained steal deal. It takes 3 years, and then 3 years it takes the 8 year like 10. I'm just saying. It could be a $10 million player. I'm just saying. $10 million player. Decent player. Because he's a damn good player. Sakarinski. Basically, yeah, steal deal. He can take the $8 million in the future. No, literally take the $8 million in the future. Whatever. The Ryan Murray, because you got Ryan Murray, and then of course you got David Zabarza. That's pretty good defensing and Korpisalo. So it's up to Korpisalo or any other backup to try to be the number one job, and that's basically Columbus. They'll finish 7th in the Metro. in my opinion, they'll finish second in the Metro, and I'm going to do the Flyers. The Flyers are an interesting story. They're going to just, they'll be a wild card. This team will be a wild card team, especially if they get the two afraid Travis Konecny, which is a decent top 6 forward, and Provorov. Provorov could be a potential superstar defenseman. They're gonna be two superstar defensemen. One of the biggest memes of the summer was, or since trade deadline or whatever, forget when it was, but Kevin Hayes got signed to a ridiculous $7.1 million deal. He's a decent second line center. But not even a great player, just a good player. Like Claude Giroux, damn good right winger or whatever. I think Varnchuk, good player. James Van Riems likes a good player. Sean Couturier is basically their number one center. And you got Patrick just like Keisher. I think Nolan Patrick will probably break out. Lindholm's very good. Here was Konecny. As I said, Konecny is going to be RFA. He is an RFA. Still sitting out, but 22. Yeah, I think he got like 27 goals, so that's not bad. But the points were, he didn't do well in points though. He only got like 49 points, but the points should be at like 55 next year for Konecny. But again, he could score 30. I see him being probably a 25 goal scorer, 55 point guy. That's kind of his ceiling. I don't think so. He is not a Brock Besser. He's not a potential superstar player. He's just solid second line winger on the Flyers, in my opinion. Or first liner. Whatever wing he plays on, he usually played on the first line last year. He could be second liner though, for sure. And if he's on the first line, I really do think a potential called winner could be the one and only Morgan Frost. Morgan Frost would be on the second line if Konecny's on the first. I think he probably start on the like third or fourth line, and then move up. Could be on the first line, but maybe now they got decent defense. They got Matt Niskanen. And Shingos there, and Justin Braun, and Travis Sanheim, and Robert Hagg, and all these guys are pretty good. And then you got that defenseman they really need in the lineup, which is again Provorov. Then they got they re-signed Elliott for 2 more years. So I don't know if it's a good signing or a bad signing. They need an extra goalie. They can't just have Carhart. Carhart collapses next year and doesn't have a good season. They're probably in trouble. But predict them to squeak in the playoffs. Predict them to squeak in the playoffs and like the 4th in the Metro. Now let's go to the Jerks. They'll be second behind the Caps in the Metro, in my opinion, because they added so many great guys, and apparently they're trading Falk for Kasha, which is amazing because Kasha is a damn good player on the Ducks. He's a young player, 23, I believe. He'll be playing in the top 6 of the Kings, and that top 6 could be disgusting with Kasha. It's already a damn good top 6. They got Aho, franchise center, and Aho only 22. They got Jordan Stahl, Teuvo Teravainen. They got Niederreiter. They got Dzingel. They got Holla. That's kind of disgusting. Not disgusting, but pretty salt. Like they really added. They got Brock McGinn. They got Martin Nuke, Svechnikov, which is really a player. He's also their top 6. Like we get Svechnikov really makes it disgusting since he scored 20 goals in his rookie. He's only 18. He scored 20 goals as a rookie, so that's pretty fucking damn good. And don't forget one of the best prospects in the world, Martin Necas might be playing for the Canes, and he could be a top 6 or third line starting with, or fourth line with. Or third line, or fourth line, or fourth line. He'll be good. Ryan Gibbons, Clark Bishop, all these guys. Lucas Walmart's pretty good player. Hamilton is good. But I don't like those stupid rumors of people saying, Slavon's gonna kill me because he's their best nobody's not Hamilton. If people say that if people argue to me Hamilton's the best Canes defenseman, trade Slavin, and we've seen Hamilton play defense, he's not great. He's good offensively. He's got 20 goals in the regular season. Only other defenseman do that was Owen Riley. Really good offensively, but he can't play defense. So I don't like Hamilton that much. Slavin plays defense a lot. That's why. It's kind of why he doesn't put up points all the time. But he can put up points too. That's why. Potentially Norris defenseman one day. So I hope how it goes. I hope he does, because he's awful, and he makes so much money. And yes, he's the highest point getter defenseman in the Whalers Canes history. But that means nothing. Jake Gardner's a great addition. And then, potentially, the best stay-at-home defenseman in the game today, Brett Pesce. Brett Pesce's definitely a great defenseman. He plays with Gardner. Gardner really doesn't have to play in his own, and as much. Gardner could be allowed to potentially score 50, 60 points. He's playing with Pesce, because Pesce, all he does is shut down the best players, basically. Basically just shuts down everybody. You got TV Archer, and he's like decent defenseman, and that's basically a team. Solid team. Hayden Fleury might be playing, and you got Peter Mrazek, because if he plays good or better, definitely playoffs. Peter Mrazek and Drama. If you can bounce back as a backup, it'll be good. In Washington, basically first. Washington is everything. Still got everybody on Washington, really. You really have everybody. Ovechkin, they got Ovechkin, they got Ovechkin, and they got Kuznetsov, they got Backstrom, TG Oshie, Tom Wilson, which is actually a good player, but I just don't like him because of his headshots. There's Eller, Jake Verana, which is gonna break out too. Carl Hagelin, all these guys, they're just damn good defense, and they're gonna rain hopefully, and everybody's great, and they're finishing first. So my predictions from the Metro, I think it's gonna happen in the Metro. Damn good division. Damn good division, and I think they're gonna be very good. And that's really it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later in the next video for the Atlantic predictions tomorrow.